At the funeral of his father, his mother, and his 18-year-old sister, Sef Gonzales stood up in front of everyone who loved them and sang. He chose Mariah Carey and Boys Roman 2 Men. He chose One Sweet Day. And he cried. He cried so convincingly that the entire congregation cried with him. Hundreds of people who had come to mourn 3 people they loved watched a 20-year-old boy dissolve in grief and believed every single tear. What they did not know, what nobody in that room knew, was that the boy weeping at the microphone had not lost his family. He had murdered them, all 3 of them, in their own home, with his own hands, 4 days earlier. And he was about to go to a car dealership and put a deposit on a $173,000 Lexus using his parents' inheritance money he had been planning to collect before their bodies were cold. The Gonzales family had built something real. Teddy Gonzales was 46 years old, a respected immigration lawyer in New South Wales who had brought his family from the Philippines to Australia following the devastating 1990 Luzon earthquake. He had rebuilt his career in a foreign country, established a practice, given his children opportunities he had never had. His wife, Mary Loiva, was 43, devoutly religious, fiercely protective of her children, deeply involved in every aspect of their lives. Their daughter Claudine was 18 and had just finished high school. And their son Sef, 20 years old, handsome, charming, fluent in the language of what other people wanted to hear. From the outside, the Gonzales family on Collins Street in North Ryde was the picture of immigrant success. A family that had survived displacement, rebuilt itself, and was watching its children inherit a future that had been built for them with extraordinary sacrifice. From the inside, Sef Gonzales was collapsing under the weight of that future. And he had decided that destroying it was easier than living up to it. Sef's parents had one dream for him, that he would become a doctor or a lawyer like his father. The problem was that Sef was failing. He had performed poorly in his higher school certificate. He had failed a medical bridging course at the University of New South Wales. He was on the verge of expulsion from a pre-law course at Macquarie University. And rather than tell his parents any of this, Sef forged his university report cards. He fabricated academic results across multiple semesters, handing his parents documents that described a son excelling in a course he was about to be removed from. But forgery was not the deepest lie he was living. To friends, Sef told elaborate stories about being a successful model, a rising singer, a businessman with deals in progress. He built a fake tribute website dedicated to himself, pretending it was created by an admiring fan. He told close friends for years that he was dying of cancer, not because it was true, but because the sympathy it generated was something he needed. Forensic psychiatrists who later examined him described a profound narcissistic personality structure. A man who had built an entire fictional self and lived inside it so completely that the real Sef, the failing student with the forged transcripts, had become intolerable to him. When his parents discovered the forgery, they threatened to take away his car and strip his privileges. When his mother discovered a relationship she disapproved of, she fought bitterly with him over it. The fictional version of Sef Gonzales was collapsing, and he had already begun planning what to do about it. What investigators would later reconstruct was that Sef had been planning the murders for months before he actually committed them. He sat at a computer, and typed the words "methods of killing" into a search engine. He researched toxic seeds and beans that could be ordered online, substances that when mixed into food would cause severe convulsions, organ failure, and a slow death over 3 days without leaving obvious medical traces. His plan was meticulous. He did not want the deaths to look like murders at all. He wanted them to look like a corporate contamination scandal. In early July 2001, he mailed threatening letters to a major food and beverage company, to the Australian Quarantine Inspection Service, and to the Australian Federal Police, claiming that 3 of the company's products had been poisoned and placed on supermarket shelves. He was constructing a framework. When his family died from the poison he planned to give them, there would already be a public narrative about contaminated food products. Nobody would look at the sun. In early June 2001, Sef administered the poison to his mother. Mary Loiva was rushed to hospital in absolute agony, severe fever, bleeding in her gut, her body shutting down. Because doctors could find no known bacteria or virus, they recorded it as severe food poisoning. She survived, and Sef, facing a mother who had survived his first attempt to kill her, returned home and began making a different plan. On the morning of July 10th, 2001, Sef drove to his father's law office in Blacktown under the pretense of helping him fix a computer. He left around 3:30 in the afternoon and drove back to the family home on Collins Street, North Ryde. He arrived at approximately 4:15. The house was quiet. He went to the kitchen. He took the 2 largest knives from the knife block. He went upstairs. His 18-year-old sister, Claudine, was in her bedroom, studying. She did not know her brother was coming. She did not know he was armed. At approximately 4:30 in the afternoon, Sef Gonzales entered his sister's bedroom and attacked her. He strangled her. He bashed her head at least 6 times with a bat. He stabbed her 5 times in the neck and twice in the chest and abdomen. Claudine Gonzales, 18 years old, who had her whole life ahead of her, died in her own bedroom. An hour later, her mother walked through the front door. She had spent the day unaware. She came home to what she believed was her house, her family, her ordinary Tuesday evening. Sef was waiting. He attacked her in the living room with savage, repeated stab wounds to her face, her neck, her chest, and her stomach. The force of the attack completely severed her windpipe. Mary Loiva Gonzales, 43 years old, devoutly religious, fiercely loving, died on the floor of her own home. At 6:50 in the evening, Teddy Gonzales arrived. He was the last. He had spent the day in his law office, unaware that his daughter and his wife were already dead upstairs and on the floor of the room he was about to walk into. Sef attacked the moment his father crossed the threshold. Multiple stab wounds to the neck, chest, back, and abdomen. The blades penetrated his right lung, pierced his heart, and partially severed his spinal cord. Teddy Gonzales, 46 years old, a man who had survived an earthquake and built a new life in a new country, and given everything he had to his children, collapsed and died in his own doorway. What happened next revealed something about Sef Gonzales that no amount of forensic psychiatry has fully explained. After killing his father, sister, and mother, Sef Gonzales went to the garage. He found a can of spray paint, and he wrote on the interior wall of his family's home the words, "Fuck off Asians, KKK." He was trying to frame white supremacists for the murder of his Filipino family. He collected the knives, the bat, his blood-soaked clothing and shoes, disposed of them permanently, and then drove to his friend Sam Dalio's house. He arrived at 8 o'clock. He said nothing about what he had just done. He and Sam drove into the city together. They ate dinner at Planet Hollywood. They spent the evening at a video arcade. They laughed. They played games. At 11:45, Sef dropped Sam home, drove back to Collins Street, and dialed emergency services. The recording of that call captures a voice that sounds genuinely broken. "Please come, someone is at my parents', killed my family. They are all bleeding there on the floor." When officers arrived, he told them he had chased 1 or 2 intruders out of the house. He was crying. His face was devastated. Not a single detective in that room that night identified him as the primary suspect. Not yet. In the days that followed, Sef Gonzales gave the performance of his life. He gave television interviews, weeping, begging the public for information. He pledged a fake $100,000 reward for the capture of the killers. He stood at his family's funeral and sang. And while the public mourned the Gonzales family and called for justice, Sef was making financial calculations. Within a single week of the murders, he met with his father's accountant and asked, directly and specifically, exactly how much the estate was worth. $1.5 million. He pawned his mother's jewelry. He traded in his parents' cars. He walked into a luxury car dealership and placed a deposit on a $173,000 Lexus SC 430, telling the sales staff explicitly that he would settle the balance when his family inheritance came through. He was 20 years old. His parents had been dead for less than 2 weeks, and he was shopping for a Lexus. Sef's alibi held for months. Then, in December 2001, Strike Force detectives found independent witnesses who placed his car sitting in the North Ryde driveway during the exact afternoon hours of the murders. His timeline collapsed. Cornered, Sef constructed a second alibi. He claimed he had actually been visiting a brothel at the time. Detectives tracked down the specific sex worker he named. She denied it completely. She had never met him. In the months that followed, Sef's desperation became extraordinary. He fabricated a string of threatening emails to himself. He forged an email chain designed to frame a legitimate business rival of his father. He reported a staged home burglary to police. He reported a fake attempted abduction of himself. Every fabrication, every deflection, every constructed trail led investigators not away from Sef Gonzales, but closer to him. Because a genuinely innocent person does not need to fabricate this much evidence of their innocence. On June 13, 2002, 11 months after the murders, New South Wales police arrested Sef Gonzales and charged him with 3 counts of murder. The trial took place across April and May 2004 at Sydney's Darlinghurst Criminal Court. Throughout the proceedings, Sef sat quietly at the defendant's table clutching rosary beads, his eyes closed in what appeared to be prayer, maintaining his plea of not guilty. He was the picture of a wrongfully accused man. The jury was not convinced. On May 20th, 2004, they found Sef Gonzales guilty on all 3 counts of murder. On September 17th, 2004, the Supreme Court judge handed down 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Justice Bruce James used words that have not faded with time. He said the murders showed features of very great heinousness, and that they fell within the worst category of cases of murder at common law. Sef was sent to Goulburn Correctional Center as a maximum security inmate. He has been there ever since. He has never admitted guilt. He has filed appeal after appeal in 2007, in 2018, in 2019, in 2021. Every single one was dismissed. In August 2025, 24 years after he murdered his family, Sef Gonzales won the right to appeal his life sentence. His legal team successfully argued that he had lived with undiagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder, stemming from sexual abuse he claims to have suffered as a child, and that this condition was never properly considered during his original trial and sentencing. The NSW Court of Criminal Appeal granted the appeal. Sef Gonzales, currently 44 years old, still maintaining his innocence after more than 2 decades in maximum security, now has a legal avenue that could potentially affect his sentence. The appeal has not yet been heard at time of publication. The outcome is unknown. What is not unknown is what he did on July 10th, 2001, in a house on Collins Street, North Ryde, to 3 people who had given him everything they had. There is one final footnote to this story. When the North Ryde murder house was put on the market in 2004, a prospective buyer placed a deposit, completely unaware of what had happened inside those walls. They discovered the truth from a newspaper article days before settlement. The resulting public outrage forced the New South Wales government to act. Real estate agents in New South Wales are now legally required to disclose to every buyer if a murder or severe violent crime has taken place on a property. It is called the Gonzales Law. The family that Sef Gonzales murdered left behind a legal legacy that protects strangers to this day. He left behind nothing except a life sentence and a series of appeals that have so far all failed. The last name means something different depending on who is reading it. On July 10th, 2001, 3 people were murdered in their home by someone they trusted completely. Someone they had fed, clothed, educated, sacrificed for, and loved without condition. They did not know it was coming. They did not have time to say goodbye to each other. Teddy Gonzales was 46 years old. Mary Loiva Gonzales was 43. Claudine Gonzales was 18. They deserved more than what they got. They deserved the futures that were taken from them in an afternoon by someone who decided that their lives were worth less than a Lexus and a lie.